Okay. Till now we saw the many methods, how to create a thread with the help of thread class, how to create a thread with the help of runnable interface, and many methods of the thread class we saw. So you see that is the basic method we saw. Then naming methods we saw. After that, daemon thread method also we saw, and after that, priority based method also we saw, right? And after that, sleep method from the prevent thread execution method, sleep method we saw, right? Inside that we have two methods: sleep method which having the one parameter, and another method which sleep method which having the two parameter, right? We saw that thing also. Today we will see what is meant by yield method, join method, interrupt, is interrupted, and the interrupted. Okay, what is this mean? These are easy only. Just little bit difference is there. I will take it as fast as possible. Okay, so you have to listen carefully and you have to focus on that. Okay, so first method is the yield method. So before that we saw sleep method. So why we are using the sleep method? So sleep method, if you want to stop execution of the particular thread for particular amount of time, for that we are using the sleep method, right? If you want to stop the execution of the thread for the particular amount of time, that time we are using the sleep method. If that particular amount of time will be over, then thread will be started execution again, right? That is the purpose of our sleep method. Now what is meant by the yield method? We will take one real life example here. Suppose you went to the mall. Okay, suppose you went to the mall, and in that mall what will happen? Suppose person 1 is there and person 2 is also there. Okay, person 1 is also there and person 2 is also there. So what person 1 will do? Person 1 having the lots of things. See, he is a rich person, so he has lots of things. Person 2 is a poor person, he has only the one thing, he is only buying the chocolate. Okay, but person 1 have the lots of things inside his bucket, but person 2 having only one thing, that is the chocolate in his bucket. So what he will do? What they went to the billing counter. So for billing this person, it will take lots of time, approximately 10 or 15 minutes it will be take. But if you want person 2 wants to bill, how many time it will be take? Approximately one means 1 minute will be take, 30 second, the 40 second it will be take, max to max 5 minutes it will be take, right? But if you person once wants to bill first, how much time it will be take? That is the 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or approximately or max to max 30 minutes also it will be take. But for one thing it have to wait for this person one. Okay, for only one thing, for in billing it have to wait for the person one to bill. Okay, so at this situation what they will be do? Person one will be say to this person two, like, you have only one thing, you can bill it first, after that I can be bill. Okay, person one will be say to the person two, you can bill it first, after that I will be bill. Okay, this is the thing they will be say, because person one is taking lots of time and person two is taking little bit of time. So that on this situation what it will be do? Person one will be tell to the person two, like, you will be bill first, after that I will be bill. Okay, so same like that in the Java also it will be happen. Suppose this is a one thread and this is the another thread. Suppose this thread is taking lots of time, thread is taking smaller amount of time. So what this thread will be do? This thread will be give chance to the another thread, then this thread will be execute first, and after execution of this thread will be executed. So this is the use of our yield method. We stop the current executing thread and give chance to the other thread for the execution. That is the yield method. Okay, if this person one is taking lots of time, it will give the chance to the another person. That is the yield method. Okay, working. What is the working? In Java 5, internally it is using the sleep method. Okay, in Java 5, it is internally using the sleep method, but now from the Java 6, threads provide hints to the thread scheduler. There is a one person, that is the thread scheduler. Now, means till now I told you, like, JVM will allocate the processor. Before that also I told you, like, JVM will execute all the things which are written inside the main method. But from now we knows that JVM is not doing that things. JVM is creating one thread and that main thread executing whatever things we are writing inside the main method, right? But in this situation also, JVM is not allocating the processor. Okay, JVM is not allocating the processor. There is a one person who is there is a one not a person, there is a one thing that is allocating the processor to the thread, that is a thread scheduler. Okay, thread scheduler is responsible to allocate the processor to the thread. Okay, thread scheduler is responsible to allocate the processor to the thread. That is the only work of the thread scheduler. JVM will not allocate the processor, thread scheduler will allocate the processor to the thread. Okay, till now we know that JVM allocate, but internally thread scheduler will allocate the processor to the thread. Okay, now it depends on the thread scheduler. Either it will be accept the hint or it will ignore the hint. Okay, either it will be accept the hint or it will ignore the hint. Suppose person 1 and person 2 is there. So what person, if person 1 is taking lots of time and person 2 is taking little bit of time, so what this person will say, person 1 will be send notification to this thread scheduler. Okay, person 1 will send notification to thread scheduler that I can stop for the some amount of time, you can give charge to the person 2. Then it is completely depend on the thread scheduler. Either it will be accept the hint or it will be ignore the hint. If it will accept the hint, then person 1, person 2 will be execute. If it will ignore the hint, the person 1 will be only executing. It is completely depend on the thread scheduler. Either it will be accept the hint or it will be ignore the hint. It is completely depend on the thread scheduler. Now what is the syntax? So public static native void and this is also a native method, means its implementation is written in the another language other than the Java, like C++ or the C. Okay, this implementation is written in the another language like C++ or C. And here output may be vary, means it is completely dependent on the thread scheduler. Either it will be accept the hint or it will be ignore the hint. So output may be vary sometimes. Okay, sometimes no, many times it will be vary. I will take one example here. Okay, so suppose if you come here into the Eclipse. Okay, I just created this program. I remove this thread dot method. Okay, so what I did here, simple, I have created here the thread is the extends thread. Okay, extend thread, then override the run method, create an object and start the thread using the start method. Okay, after that system.out.println I wrote here. Inside that, simple, I am printing the name of that thread, thread.currentThread.getName. And here inside the main method also, what I am doing, simple, I am printing the name of our thread that is working inside the main method. Okay, so which thread is working here inside the main method? This thread is working inside the main method. Yes, anyone? This thread is working inside the main method. Anyone knows? This thread is working inside the main method. You can ping into the chat as well. I can able to read your chat as well. So anyone knows this thread is working inside the main method? Nobody knows. See, if I copy these things from here, okay. Just now I told you. See, so JVM will not do everything. Okay, JVM is not doing everything. So what JVM will do? Every time if we are running the program, that time what JVM will do? JVM is not executing this all the things. JVM will create one thread here. Okay, like that. What is the name of this thread? This thread name is a main thread, and who is executing this all the things which are present inside this thread? That is the main thread only. Okay, so which thread is working here? That is the main thread. We saw this thing inside the get name set name method. Right? That time we saw that. What is this thread is working here? This is called as the child thread, and this is called as the parent thread. I told you as well, right? So this is the child thread we have created here, and this is the parent thread because this thread only created this another thread. That's why we can call this as a child thread, and this is main thread is our parent thread. Okay, so which thread is working inside this main method? That is the main thread, and here which thread will be work? So this is the thread, that is the thread 0. It will be work here inside our run method. Now if I run this once, we are getting the name, that is two name we will get. That is the main thread as well as the thread 0. If I run this one again and again, see, again and again if I run this one, so multiple times main thread will be only one. Okay, main thread is only working multiple times. First main thread is working, after that thread 0. Sometimes thread 0 will be also work. Okay, if you run this one multiple times, so sometimes thread 0 will be also work, sometimes main thread will be also some work. Okay, but now suppose here this main thread is taking suppose here 3 hours. Okay, this main thread is taking 3 hours to execute its task, and this our thread 0 is taking only 3 minutes. a minute to executing the task. So what it will be do? Suppose it wants to complete a task. Suppose this thread wants to complete its task. It have to wait for the first 3 hours. Right? After that only it will be completed task into the 3 minutes. How much time it will be take? For 3 minutes of task, it is taking 3 hours and the 3 minutes. See if I run this one. So first 3 hours it have to wait, and after that in 3 minutes it will be completed task. Right? So how much time it will be take now? That is the 3 hours and 3 minutes it will be take to complete it task. This small amount of task it have to complete, but it is taking the lots of time, right? Because it have to wait for this thread as well, and after that it will take it. After that it will be execute, right? So it is taking lots of time. So this is not a good thing. If I want to stop this thread for particular amount of time, and it will want to give the chance to this thread first, what we need to do? We have to use the here is the yield method, like this one. That is the person 1 and person 2. Suppose this main method is our person 1, it is taking lots of time, and person 2 is our this thread, that is the thread 0, that is taking only the small amount of time. So now this person 1 will be give chance to the person 2. It will give, it will send him to the thread scheduler. How to use the thread dot yield method? Simple, we need to write here thread dot yield method. Okay, now which thread is working here? If I show you here which thread is working, that is the main thread. So main thread will become here, it will be c thread dot yield, right? Thread dot yield, it will be c. Murli bro. Okay, so thread dot yield it will be c, and after that what it will be do? Thread dot, it will be whenever it will be c, that time what it will be do? It will be sent into the thread scheduler. Okay, this thread will be sent into the thread scheduler, that I will be stopped for the some time. You can give chance to the another thread, and which another thread we have? That is the thread 0. So it is completely depend on the thread scheduler. Either it will be accept the hint or it will be ignore the hint. If I run this one now, see, this time thread 0 is working, and after that our main thread is working, means this time our thread scheduler accept it. But now if I run this one again and again, the result may be vary. Okay, the result may be vary sometimes. See, if I run this one again and again, so you can try it by yourself as well. See, this time main thread is working. I mean, this time our thread scheduler ignores the hint. Okay, this time our thread scheduler ignores the hint. When our thread scheduler ignores the hint, that time our main thread will be only executing. But sometimes our thread scheduler accept the hint as well. So that time our we are getting the result as result we want. So this time our thread 0 is working first, then main thread is working. So now this time our thread scheduler accept the hints. So that is the only meaning of our yield method. Yield method means we stop the current executing thread and give chance to the another thread. That is the only meaning of our yield method. And how to use that? Just we need to write a thread dot yield. And how I am writing with the help of class name, because this is the static method, so directly I can call this method with the help of class name. Okay, so this is the thread dot yield method. Anyone have any doubt here? Okay, so now we'll go to the another part. After that we have a join method. Okay, this is the join method. This is the interesting one method. So what is the thing here? When join method is invoked, the current thread stop its execution and thread goes into the waiting state. Then the current threads remain in the waiting state until the thread with join method is invoked until it wait state. So I will tell you with the help of one real life example. Okay, remove this all the things from here. Suppose suppose you went to the driving license. You went for the driving license, and there have some counter. Suppose this is the first counter, this is the second counter, and suppose this is our third counter. Suppose you went for the driving license, and there is some three counters we have. Okay, suppose first counter we have for the driving we have. Another section we have for the medical. Another section we have for the medical, and after that another section we have for the officer will check your license, and it will give the sign. If everything is okay, it will give the signs and it will give you the license, right? So you went for the driving license. There we have the three counters: driving, medical, and the officer. Okay, so now Did you saw any time like all the things will be happen at the same time, driving and medical and officer will sign at the same time? No, right? It will be not happen like that, right? First driving will happen, then after driving is completed, then medical will be happen. After medical will completed, then officer will sign you on your license and all, and it will give you the license. All things will be not happen at the same time, right? First time will be happen, it will be completed, then medical will be happen. When medical is completed, then officer will be sign on your license. This like will be happen, right? So now if I want to create this program, so how we will create that? So I will remove these things from here, and I will remove this extends thread from the here. So now we will create a three classes for the three sections. This is our first section here, is the driving. I will come here, I will create a class for the driving. Okay, I created here the driving class, and what I am doing here, I will create a as a thread here. This one I will create as a thread. Extends thread. Okay, simple. I have extends thread here. After that, public void run. We have to override the run method, right? So I'm writing here overriding the run method. Simple thing I'm writing here system.out. First driving is started. I'm writing here simple. Okay. After that, what I'm doing, I want to stop the execution of the thread for particular amount of time. For that, we have one method, that is sleep method. That method I will be using here. That is a thread dot sleep I'm using here, and I want to stop that thread for the suppose 2 seconds. So I'm using here 2000. It is giving the error because it will throw one exception, that is the interrupted exception. So for that we have to write a try and the catch. Right. After that here system.out I am writing again, and here I am writing driving is completed. Okay, first I have created one class. After that I have extends the thread here. I want to create this as a thread, that's why I extend the thread here. I have overridden the run method here. After that, what I did here, simple, I have wrote here system.out. This will be print on the console. Driving is started. After that, thread.sleep method is there. So thread will be stopped. Stop is execution for the 2 seconds, right? Thread.sleep method means it will be stop the execution for the particular amount of time. So for 2 seconds, it will be stop its execution. After that, it will be print. Driving is completed, right? Now another thing I will be create here for the another section we have, which is the another section we have. See here, that is the medical. I will become here. I will write here class medical. Okay, class medical I wrote. For that, this also I want to create as a thread. So extend thread. Okay, again same thing. Public void run system.out. 1 minute guys. Okay, so we'll write same thing here as well. With medical is started. Okay, now also I want to stop this thread for the some amount of time, so I will write here thread dot sleep, and here I will write for the particular amount of time. So 3000 I'm writing here, try and catch. And after that here as I'm writing system dot out, same thing I'm doing, and here I'm writing medical is completed. Okay, so same thing I wrote for this as well, that is the medical as well. There is the public see here I have created the class, and after that extends thread. Then here I have overridden the run method, and after that it will be print medical is started. Then here thread dot sleep means it will sleep the thread for the 3 seconds. Then it will be started again. Then it will be print medical is completed. Then again it will become here as a public. I will write again not public. I will create the another class for the another thread here as the officer thread. I will become here and I will create a class for the officer as well. Class officer. Just a minute, guys. No, 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 no. Okay, now it is fine. Okay. So here, what I am doing is simple. I have created the class, that is driving class. We have created medical class. We have created, and same thing we have created for the officer as well. Okay. So I will write here simple thing, that is extends and the thread here as well. And inside that, what I am doing, public void run. Same thing I am doing here for the three classes as well. Inside that system dot out I am writing, and here I am writing again. There is the officer will check. Officer is checking. Okay, and same thing, I will stop the execution of the thread for the particular amount of time, thread dot sleep. And here I will stop the thread execution of the thread for the 2 seconds. This is the 20 second, 2 second. Okay, I will use here try and catch, and after the try and catch I will write system dot out. In here I am writing officer sign. Okay, so three classes we have created for the three sections. So we have three section here: driving, medical, and the officer. So for the three section we have created three classes here: driving, medical, and another class we have created, that is the officer, right? And here for each we have created the thread, that is the extend thread, extends thread, and extends thread, right? Inside that, also inside each we have overridden the run method. And first one we are writing driving started. It will wait for the 2 seconds, then again it will be started and driving is completed. For another thing, for the medical, medical is started, then it will be wait for the 3 seconds, then medical is completed. Again for the officer, officer is checking, then it will be wait for the 2 seconds, it will be stop the execution for the 2 seconds, and then officer is signed. It will be print like that. Okay, but now if I create a main method, and now if I want to call this one, how we will call that? Simple as usual, right? Like as we are creating from before, so same like that we have to create. So here we have three classes we have to create for the three object, right? So I will create a three object here. First class we have, that is the driving. So I will create an object for the driving here. So new and the driving. Okay, so I will create an object for here, that is driving, and with the help of the driving object I will call that thread. So I will call that thread, so driving dot start. Okay, and after that, same like this one, I will create for the another thing as well. That is the another thing we have, that is the medical. So I will write here new medical, medical dot class dot start. Okay, so I am starting the medical thread as well, and after that, same like that, I want to start the another thread, that is the officer. So new officer I will start, and officer object I have created. With the help of officer thread I want to start that thread, so I have to write officer dot start. Now if I run this one, so can it will be print like that, that is the driving is started, then it will wait for the 2 seconds, the drive is completed, then medical is started, then 3 seconds it will be wait, then medical is completed, then officer is checking, it will wait for 2 seconds and officer is signed. Can it will be print like that only, or we will get the different result? Can it will print same like that, or can we will get the different result? Anyone? Can we get the same result, or can we get the different one? Different. Okay. Anyone have any another answer? Anyone have any another answer? See, if I run this one, driving started, medical is started, and officer is checking. All the things that happens at the same time. Driving is completed, officer is signed, medical is completed. All the things are happening at the same time, right? But we don't want like that. So if you went for the driving license, so that time also it will be not happen, right? Driving, medical, and officer, it all the things will be not happen at the same time, right? So for that, what we will use? We will use the join method. First, driving will be happen. After driving will be completed, then medical will be happen. If medical will be completed, then officer will be happen. Right? Officer will be check the file. Okay. So how to use the join method? Suppose first driving will be happen. I want to stop this two thing till this driving will be completed. So I will use this join method here. Okay. Join method here. If you use the join method, so what it will be do? When it will be see the join method, it will be wait to that thread it's completed execution. It will when this thread is completed execution, then only this thread will be started execution. Okay, then I will be write here again the join method. Then when this medical is completed, then this thread will be started execution again. Okay, I will tell you by the practical. Suppose I want to start I want to stop the execution for the medical thread as well. So how we will start that, how we will stop that? Simple, I will use here, that is the medical. Sorry we have to write here driving, sorry, we have to write here driving dot join. Okay, when driving is completed, then you can start this execution. When officer is complete, when medical is completed, then officer you can start the execution, like that we want, right? So it is throwing one exception, so I will handle this exception here only. That is the try and catch, with the help of try and catch. And here also, if I want to start, if I want to use that method, so I will write here medical dot, again I want to use here, that is the join method. So I will use here join method as well. It will also throw one exception. So I will handle here with the help of try and catch. Okay, we can throw it as well, but I am handling here only. If I run this one now, see, driving is started, then driving is completed, then medical is started, then medical is completed, officer is checking, then officer is signed. Now we are getting the perfect result. So how we are getting the perfect result? See here, JVM will come here, and we are performing join method on the single thread now. On the main thread only we are performing the join method. If you want to performing on the multiple thread, you can use the simple like that only. You can use the thread name, and with the help of thread name, we can use with the help of thread, you can use the join method. Okay, so here driving I'm using main thread is working here. So driving one thread it have created, that is driving. Then driving dot start, the thread is started. Then that main thread is coming here, driving dot join. Okay, it will become here, it will saying driving dot join. So what this thread is doing now, so when this thread will be completed, then this thread will be started execution again. When this thread will be see here, no, driving dot join, that main thread will come into the waiting state. Okay, when this thread will be see the join method, that thread will be go into the waiting state, and it will be in the waiting state until this thread will be complete its execution. Okay, now this thread is went into the waiting state. Now this thread is completing its task, means which task is it will be completed, this task. So driving is started, then it will be wait for the 2 seconds. After 2 seconds, it will bring driving is completed. After this task is completed, it will become here again, and it will be print here. It will be started execution. It will create a medical thread. Then medical start. This thread is started again. Then again this main thread will be come into the waiting state, because here we wrote medical dot join. Okay. Again it will be go into the waiting state. Again the officer thread will be created here, right? So when this medical thread task is completed, then it will be then it will be started again. Then it will be created officer thread again, and it will be started again. So this will be join thread will be work. If I run this again, so we are getting the same result. Driving is started, driving is completed, medical is started, then medical is completed, officer is checking, and then officer is signed. That is the use of our join method. Anyone have any doubt till now inside the join method? Anyone have any doubt? Guys, anyone have any doubt? Okay. So now another thing is that is the interrupt. So what is meant by interrupt method? If you want to interrupt a thread, suppose multiple times we have the requirement that we want to interrupt any thread. So for that we have a interrupt method. Okay, we have a interrupt method. So this is the interrupt method we can use directly, but interrupt method will be only work when our thread will be in the sleeping state or the waiting state. Okay, thread will be in the sleeping state or the waiting state. That time only our interrupt method will be work. Otherwise our interrupt method will be not work. Sleeping and waiting means if you are performing any sleep method or the wait method, that time only it will be in the sleeping or the waiting state. Otherwise it will be not into the sleeping or the waiting state. And thread method interrupt method will be only work if our thread will be in the sleeping state or the waiting state. We will take one example here. Suppose we come here and I will remove this all the things we don't want now. So I will remove these things and I will remove this all things from now. Okay, and we will try to create one simple thread here. Extends thread. Okay, and inside that I am writing here public void run. Override the run method. System.out I am writing, or for loop I am writing here. Okay, for loop I am writing here. Inside that int I equals I is greater than 0, then I is less than sorry, forget, I equals to 0, then I is less than 5 I'm writing, then I plus plus I'm writing, and inside that system dot out, and here and I'm writing I. Okay, only I am writing. And after that what we will do, inside this one simple system new, I want to start that thread. So new test object I have created, and with the help of this object I am starting my thread. Now if I run this one, so from 0 to 4 it will be print all the things. See, from 0 to 4 it is printing all the things, right? But now if I use here directly the interrupt method, if I directly provide a interrupt method here, so can it will be provide, and whenever interrupt method is used, whenever our thread interrupt method will be work, that time it will throw one exception, that is the interrupted exception. Whenever our thread is interrupted with the help of interrupt method, so that time it will show throw one exception, that is the interrupted exception. Now if I use here the interrupt method object dot interrupt, so can it, our thread will be interrupt this time. Now if I run this one, so our thread is not interrupted. Why? Oh, we are using here the interrupt method as well, but our thread is not interrupted. Why our thread is not interrupted here? And if I run this one, so our yes, our waiting state or sleeping state is not there, and here our we are getting the result as well, right? If our thread is not interrupted, that time we are getting the result as well, right? Now what I am doing is this thread I want to go into the thread or the sleeping state. Okay, so sleep I will write for the 1 second, and I I will handle this exception as well. Try with the help of try and catch. Okay, I will write this thing here only. Okay, so now if I run this one, see what will be result we'll get. So 1 to 3 is printing. Wait a minute, I will write this thing here only. Again it is printing. Wait a minute, I have to write this thing inside of the for loop. Okay, now if I run this one, so I think again it will be printing. Wait a minute, I think we did something wrong. sleep. Now we are getting some, everything is correctly. Okay, so see here, now if I write here object dot interrupt method, so now this time our thread is interrupted. See, sleep interrupted, and we are not getting any result as well. If I run this one, see, if our thread is interrupted, we are not getting any result. But if I remove this object dot interrupt from here, now if I run this here, so this time we are getting our result because our thread is not interrupted. And when our thread is interrupted, it will be show one error, that is the interrupted exception, right? It will be throw, not error, one exception it will be throw, that is the interrupted exception it will be throw when this method is work. And that time it will be not show you that exam, it will not show you that result as well. Which result it will not show? There is 1 2 3 4 whatever we are printing here, that result also it will be not show, right? So that is the use of our interrupted exception. Now what is the mean of that interrupted exception, interrupted method, and the is interrupted method? What is the use of interrupted and the is interrupted method? So both the method have the same work, that is to check whether the thread is interrupted or not. Okay, so both these methods are used for the check whether a thread is interrupted or not. So here, then what is the difference between that? So first I will use the first method, that is the is interrupted. After that we will use the interrupted. Okay, so simply I come here, I am writing here system.out, and I am using that method thread dot current thread dot is interrupted. Okay, now if I run this one, so if our thread is interrupted, that time it will return true. If our thread is not interrupted, that time it will return false, and we are getting the result as right. If I print this again and again, copy, and if I print it again and again, paste it, paste it. Okay, 4 times I have pasted. So this time our thread is not interrupted, so this time 4 times only it is printing false. Okay, now we will try to interrupt our thread. So I will use here object dot interrupt again. Now 4 times it will return the true, right? 4 times it will return the true. It is giving the interrupt exception as well, and it is not printing any our result. That is the 1 2 3 4. It is not printing now. But if I use here interrupted exception, interrupted method, okay. Now if I use here interrupted method, so what will happen? So interrupted method, if you saw here, interrupted is a static method, and is interrupted is not a static method. That's why I use with the help of current thread. But now if you want to use the interrupted, you don't have to use here. That is the current thread. Directly you can use with the help of class name. Directly you can use the interrupted method. Okay. Now if I remove this thing, remove this thing as well. Now if I run this one, see, it is printing true. Our thread is interrupted, but it is printing the result as well, right? But see here, if I remove this thing, now if I print this one, it is printing the false. In that time also it is returning the, our thread is working here, we are getting the result. So how it is possible? If I run this one 2 times, write these things 2 times, so see what will be the result we are getting. First we are getting false, again we are getting the false. But now if I want to interrupt that thread, object dot interrupt, and if I run this one, so first we are getting the true, then we are getting the false here. Okay, so that's why we are getting here the result. So when our thread is interrupted, that time it will be returned true. First time it will return true here, but after that what it will do, it will replace that result from true to false. It will replace that result from true to false. First time it will return true, and after that it will replace that result from true to false. So that is the difference between the is interrupted method and the interrupted method. If you use is interrupted method, that time is interrupted method every time it will give you the same result. But if you are using the interrupted method, it will replace the result from the true to false, not from false to true. Only from true to false it will be replaced the result. And GVM things like that, our thread is not interrupted, and it will be print the result as always. Okay, it will be things like that. Our result is not interrupted, our thread is not interrupted, and it will be print our result as always because it is changing the result from true to false. So that's why our JVM will come here. It will be things like that. Our thread is not interrupted because it is giving here the false. So that time JVM will come here and JVM will print whatever result we want. So that is the difference between the interrupted method and the is interrupted method. Okay, so both the things have the two same thing, like to check whether the thread is interrupted or not. See here, to check whether the thread is interrupted or not. First, interrupted method, what it will do? Clear the interrupted status from true to false if the thread is interrupted. If our thread is interrupted, it will change the result from the true to false. But in the is interrupted method, it will not change the result from true to false or the false to true. Okay, it will be keep the result as always. But interrupted method will change the result from true to false. Okay, after that, is interrupted method will change the result if we call twice. So if we call twice, our interrupted method will change the result. But if we call the is interrupted method twice as well, so it will produce the same result. Okay, so that is the difference between interrupted and the is interrupted. And interrupt method we have, if we want to interrupt any thread, that time we are using the interrupt method. And when our interrupt method will be work, when our thread will be in the sleeping state or the waiting state, that time only it will be work, otherwise it will be not work. And when our interrupt method will work, that time it will be show you one exception, that is the interrupted exception. Okay, so that is the all about interrupt method, interrupted method, and the is interrupted method. So anyone have any doubt till here? Anyone have any doubt till here? Guys, anyone have any doubt? Okay. So till now we completed, I think, all the methods of the thread class. Like basic method we have created, naming methods, daemon thread methods, priority methods also we have done. Then prevented execution method also we have done today, and interrupting a thread method also we have done today. This method, that wait, notify, notify all, that are the object class method, that is not the thread class method, that we will see into the synchronization part. And from tomorrow we will start the synchronization, and after that we will start the collection. Okay, so that is the thing for today, guys. Anyone have any doubt till now? Anyone have any doubt? Okay, so today's assignment is that you have to create a program on the end method, join method, interrupt is interrupted, and be interrupted. Okay, just clear, just do this assignment and the submit on the group. Okay, so that's it.